Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. That has actually blew up. Today, guys, I'm going to be going through all of my cars and reacting to each one, as well as telling you guys about the juicy information you nosy motherfuckers want to know, such as the price of every single one I've owned, whether it was cash, finance, or mummy's money. And I'll be quickly going into the problems of each one, if I'd have it again. Without further ado, let's, for today's video, let's actually get into rating my cars. Boy! Now, of course, guys, let me know about your car history. A car that you would have again, a car that you would never ever touch again. Even if you just had one car, let me know in the comments below and I'll subscribe if I approve. My first car was actually a 2013 Vauxhall Corsa limited edition 1.2 litre, absolutely slow as shit, mate. Slowest car I've ever driven. Honestly, I'm actually having to sit to think about this. This is my thinking position. It feels like you're driving a tractor, towing another tractor with a lorry on the back. Really, really slow. That car had to go down to second gear for some hills. Funnily, my new cars can go up the same hills in 8th gear. But yeah, when I was actually 17, I actually got this car, and straight into the juicy information, this car was financed. And yeah, the price of this flipping car, mate, was silly money. Silly money for this Vauxhall Corsa. £6,500 for this car. Main dealer, 15,000 miles. You're out of your bloody mind, mate. You don't need nothing more than a bloody push bike for your first car.
Mate, this is mine, boy.
I think I had probably £200 to my name when I actually got this car, and my mum actually paid the £500 deposit for the finance, and she paid, I think, £150 a month for about 5 months until I took over. So big up mum, because I would not have that car if it wasn't for her. But yeah, I actually got that car in sixth form, and then about a month later, I got a job at Private. Then about a month later, I got my first paycheck, and then a month or 2 months later, I started paying the car. But yeah, it was a savage car for a 17-year-old to pull up to Primark, right? In a nice, glossy, silky Vauxhall Corsa with like gloss black accents from stock, from standard. Can't lie, I felt like a proper G pulling up in that car. I can't even lie. But other than that, that car was as reliable as a reinforced steel pole. It just boom, boom, boom. Just does the job. So what would I rate that car out of 10? I'd actually rate that car a 10 out of 10 because obviously it's my first car. I can't rate it anything less. I need a wee. Oh, I've still got the mic on. Next car was actually a 2016 Volkswagen Scirocco 2 litre TSI. Oh! I miss this car. I think at least the peak of my YouTube. I don't think I'll ever quite match that Scirocco level. I don't know, it just felt it was a different time of my life. So the price of that Scirocco was actually, I think it was around £13,900. That Volkswagen Scirocco was financed again on a 5-year agreement. I'd always go 5-year agreements because it brings the cost down monthly to the lowest you can pay. So for example, if you go jobless, for example, you only need to make, for this car, it was £180 a month. I only had to make £180 to be safe and keep my car on the drive. Obviously you got interest, but I usually pay the cars off early within a year, 2, 3 years. So yeah, most of that interest is knocked off anyway. This is the thing about life, right? It is all about the journey. Going from the Corsa to the Scirocco, that was a dream. Apple CarPlay. You know, your first car with Apple CarPlay, it's like taking your virginity away. Tinkerbell had a bit of, she fell in the meat grinder while they were painting this car because it is so glittery. It would glitter in the sun. It was an ultraviolet metallic purple. Yeah, that was my first auto car as well. You know, DKU performance. We got that crazy spirally exhaust. When I went to stage 1 or / stage 2, I still remember when I put my foot down for the first time in that car. My eyes rolled to the back of my head. You know those memes where it's like, when you nut and she keeps sucking? That is literally how I felt after this remap. It's not even a joke. Do I look like I'm joking? That was running 280 brake horsepower from 180 brake horsepower stock. So yeah, that was my first feel of pure power. That turbo working overtime. But yeah, I'd definitely rate that car an 11 out of 10. That was an amazing car. Truthfully amazing. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Is that the right word? I don't know. That Scirocco has actually well, not actually blew up, I don't think. But one of the cylinders, I think, isn't holding compression. So I don't know if that's a whole engine gone or if that's an engine rebuild. Now, a massive shout out to the guy who bought the car off me. He's just been so nice. He literally messaged me 6 months after buying the car and he said eventually the car just gave way. I know it was 6 months down the line. It wasn't just a day after he bought the car, but 6 months down the line, like, he could have come back and just been like, fuck you, but he didn't. So he's doing a series on TikTok and Instagram. So if you guys want to go follow that, go hit him up. He's the most genuine fucking guy I've ever met in my entire life. But yeah, I definitely rate that car an 11 out of 10. My favorite car probably of all time. Now, just before we go on to the next cars, I would like to say a quick thank you to BetterHelp for being today's paid partnership. Now, if you guys are human, which I hope, you have most likely experienced challenges in your life. We've all had a darkest day in our lives where it's been hard to get through, or you thought you'd never get over something, or you felt all alone, for example. I've had plenty of them. Throughout this whole car journey, through each and every single car I've had problems behind the scenes. And even to this day, I still have problems, especially as a young guy like myself. It's the first time you're experiencing a lot of things, the first time you experience heartbreak. I've experienced losing people who I didn't want to lose. And the scary thing for me is it's always going to get harder and harder. And pretty much that is where BetterHelp is here to support you through all of that. BetterHelp is actually an online therapy platform. You can actually have therapy sessions through whatever way you feel most comfortable with. You can have sessions through video chat, you can have it through phone calls, or you can even do it through messaging, which is my favorite option because it just feels like you're messaging a friend. They have over 1,000 credentialed therapists, so you can get matched with someone who specializes in your specific area that you need a little extra hand with, whether that's relationships, anxiety, depression, and anything else. Now, if you would like an extra hand with support for your life and your problems, or just somebody to talk to, click the link in the description to betterhelp.com/theotherstuff for a special discount off your first month. So massive thank you to BetterHelp. Helped me out a lot just to clear my head. Sometimes I feel like there's just too much running around in my head that I'm going to explode. Without further ado, let's get on to the next car, the Citroen C1. So this is actually a 2010 Citroen C1, 1 litre, 3-cylinder. It only needs 3 spark plugs. 3! And this car actually cost me £2,200, and that was paid completely outright. And wow, this car was a bag of shit. Pretty much when I was like 20 years old, right? I think I was sat in bed, right, playing Forza Horizon 4. And for some reason, right, something clicked in my head and I literally hopped on Auto Trader that same day, drove down, paid some geezer for a car, and drove back with it the next day. And then pretty much over the next, I'd say, month or so, I'd hide it around the back of my house, and then every now and then I'd bring it out, work on the car, and then hide it around the back of the house until my 21st birthday, when I actually gifted it to Chloe for basically just supporting the channel and everything. And it was a special day for me. Honestly, I pray that you guys watching this one day have a day like that where you are able to give someone you care about something back. Chloe's parents were actually there, CARISTA and Rob. And literally, it was just an amazing day because all 3 of them, pretty much, that was the most supportive circle I've ever had in my entire life. That's the backstory behind it. The car was actually, oh my God, Citroen. The C1, right, it's not meant to be a luxury car. It's meant to cut corners to make it as cheap as possible. Like literally, there's no leather, there's no nice, soft touch things, right? But yeah, that car was just so cheap on the inside. Oh my God, literally, now I'm actually thinking of it now. When you went round corners too quickly then, you actually slide off the seat because there was no like this seat. There was no like this bit, so it was just completely flat. So you just roll off the fucking seat. It was mental. When I actually bought the car, I bought it with a dodgy clutch. The biting point was literally, it was almost going to heaven. Like it was that high up, it was almost in the clouds. But yeah, I changed the clutch in it, and I don't think it's gone yet, so It would have been a lot better car if I just didn't mess around with it, and I feel quite bad that I just kept messing around with it. But yeah, pretty much I'd give the car probably like a 5 out of 10. But for sentimental value, I'll give it like a 7 out of 10. So the next car is actually my 2010 Fiat Punto Evo GP. This car, you know, people, I don't know if people actually understand or not when I'm actually saying this was my dream car. I'm not even joking. I had a picture of a Fiat Punto, a white and black one, an older one than this, on my wardrobe. It was printed out and I wanted it. So to actually have got it, like literally to make my younger self proud by getting that car was gas. So that car was actually listed for 2.3 thousand, but I actually bought it for I think 2.2 thousand pounds. But yeah, for this car I paid cash as well. I should have knocked it down a bit more because it had a leak in the boot and the suspension was really fucking knocking. It literally, it sounded like the wheel was gonna fall off every time you turn the wheel. But that just ended up being a top mount, which I replaced for 20 quid. And after that, mint car, absolutely fucking mint car. Leather steering wheel, like I can actually envision it. Like when I sold that car, right, I did not want to sell it. I really, really did not want to sell that car, but I had to for the channel's sake. It was a really dead car for the channel, really dead. It was just a daily, to be fair. It also had a stock subwoofer in the boot. Wow, that sounded nice. I need another wee, hold on. Oh, yeah. We had no reliability issues with that car whatsoever, I don't think. There was a leak in the boot that I never actually fixed. I did sell it with a leak in the boot. I could not find it for the life of me. So for that car, I'm gonna rate that a solid 9.5. It was just an ultimate car. It wasn't a sports car. It wasn't anything more than just a daily driver. It was comfy. Next car was a 2004 Mazda MX-5 NC, which is the 2-litre sport model. And wow, was this a stupid decision buying this car? Just wait until you hear how much I paid for that rust bucket outside that everybody laughs at. God, I was dumb. So pretty much, when I actually sold my Fiat Punto, I then took that money and put it into the next car for the channel, which was a Mazda MX-5, the one that is sat on my drive right now. And pretty much, should I just tell you guys I'll tell you the price at the end, just to keep you a little bit. No, I'll tell you now, fuck it. I actually paid £3,000 for that car. Why do I feel like I'm burning? I feel like I'm burning from everyone, like, everyone's gonna hate on me. But yeah, I paid full cash for that. So the reason why I paid £3,000 for this is because it was the sport one. It was the 2-litre engine and the sport one. And what that means is it actually has the DSC button off. On the other models, you don't have that 160 brake horsepower, plenty enough, mate. And it's lowered from stock as well. It's got the upgraded wheels as well, upgraded sports exhaust. So there was quite a lot that came with the sport version, but for £3,000, I definitely overpaid. Now, pretty much this car was an absolute just scam. He listed it for £3,300 or something, and I got it down to 3,000. But he basically withheld information that he knew about until I transferred that money over. So on these Mazda MX-5s, a common issue is actually the seals going, or just the rust in general. Everything under the car just rusting. And pretty much, as soon as I transferred the £3,000 over, he was like,
oh yeah, the seals need doing. About £800 a side.
This car is the most problematic car I've ever had. It has engine lights, it has constant things that need fixing, it smells, it leaks water into the car. This has definitely been the biggest headache of a car for me. However, don't get twisted. Even with all those problems, I'd probably still pick this car out of all of the ones I've listed before. It is the 2-litre sport version with a rear-wheel drive LSD from stock, mate. This car is literally made for drifting, donuts, track. I took this on track the other day and it abused it for 4 hours and it came out beautifully. Beautifully! The fact that you can send this on track and then go to a drift day the next day. Mad! If you've ever seen a Mazda MX-5, they are sat on the ground. I'm probably sat higher on this office chair than I do in my Mazda. Because it's so low to the ground, these can take corners at stupid speed. That is the first and only car that makes me feel sick when driving, because the G-force of the brakes are incredible as well. The brakes, like going from side to side, how well it grips, it's the G-force of that car. And this car's just got so much more character than all of the other cars I've ever owned. It's an insane car. Even with literally everything, I'd actually rate this car an 8 out of 10. Next car is actually my 2016 BMW M240i 3-litre twin turbo. Boy, this is the gangster whip. Gangster whip? That was really cringe. But anyway. But yeah, by far, this was the most expensive car I have ever bought. This car was £19,000. And unlike the past 4, this was of course financed. Yes, I'm driving a finance whip, come at me. This car is an absolute savage. Stock, this car is 330 brake horsepower. Remapped stage 2, plus, which it is right now, it's around 460 to 480 brake horsepower. And this is actually a rear-wheel drive, open diff car. But yeah, this thing, because it's so powerful, it glides. Even if a millimeter of precipitation drops on the ground, right? It is sliding. Literally, you'll be full throttle going sideways. You'll be like this, going straight. Mad. Unfortunately, I didn't really have enough money. The bank kind of ran out of a bit of money, you know, because I've got a really POV spec BMW M240. No heated seats, no heated steering wheel, no pro nav. It didn't even come with cruise control. But yeah, I'd only say the only problem with this car is the price of it. Everything about this car is expensive. Everything. There is not one thing that is not expensive about this car. Tires, I need every 2 months. The fuel, it guzzles it. It's a 3-litre. The parts on it are ridiculously expensive. So really, the price of this car just really disgusts me. It makes you miss having these past cars. But yeah, it's a massive accomplishment. When that car turned up in that lorry, I clicked and delivered it. That was a proud moment. Seeing it for the first time, it was so much more cherry red than I imagined. And oh my God, that first little start up on the cold start with the stock exhaust, wow. Seeing it pull onto my drive was insane. I think cars like that is more of a trophy. But yeah, I'd definitely give that car, I'd honestly say, 8 out of 10. It's actually quite a low score for the BMW, to be honest, purely for the fact that it's ridiculously expensive. Everything about that car is just expensive. So constantly in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, fuck, what happens if something goes wrong? And I can't really enjoy it to its full potential because I'm just constantly looking at the miles going up, looking at the value going down. It's just a money car. It's like a money pit of a car. But yeah, that's all of my cars. I've had quite a cool car collection. I've had quite a boring car collection in all honesty. But yeah, let me know which one was your guys' favorite to watch. I'd definitely say my favorite was the Scirocco, 100%. My least favorite would definitely be maybe the, you know what, might be controversial, but the Corsa. It was just so slow, and that's the car I'd probably choose last, to be honest. But yeah, guys, let me know about your car collections in the comments below, and I will subscribe if I approve of your car collection or car history. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully, you guys did enjoy today's video. Follow me on Instagram at @the_OtherStuff. Send me some pictures of your cars. I'd love to see them. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you faces in my next video. Bye.